Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about Tig Notaro, and I want to talk about clerics and why Tig Notaro is proof that the cleric is more powerful than the fighter, the wizard, and the rogue combined, right? If you have a cleric, if you're playing a cleric at your table, your character is more powerful than everybody else at the table. Balance is a myth. There is no balance in Gary Gygax's game. Let's dig into it. All right. So Neil Brennan. All right, and actually, I've been talking a lot about Neil Brennan lately, and the reason why he got a podcast, that dude's dropping it, right, and he's dropping it hot. The reason why Neil Brennan matters is Neil Brennan is the catapult that catapulted Dave Chappelle to the world. Dave Chappelle is the greatest comedian on the planet. And the reason why is he ain't a comedian anymore. He's a philosopher king, right? And he's the person who figured out how to turn brick wall and a microphone into modern Plato. Right? That's exactly what he's doing. The laughs are the sprinkles, right? Like the ice cream with Dave Chappelle is truth and wisdom, right? And Neil Brennan got him there. Neil Brennan is freaking brilliant, and his podcast is brilliant. Every guest he has on is an intellectual elite. Brennan is an intellectual elite, and you and I are intellectual elites. That's why we play Dungeons and Dragons. We passed the 750 pages of Annie to start, and most of us have 5, 10, 20,000 pages of canon. Of D&D canon. We're intellectual elites. Let's stop pretending. Let's jump into this. All right. So Tig Notaro. I'm a huge fan of Tig Notaro, which is a little weird. Like, it's a little odd, right? Why is that odd, right? Well, I mean, evangelical Christian, right? Tig Notaro is an LGBTQ champion, right? So why is an LGBTQ champion one of my favorite comedians? Because she's banger funny, right? Tig Notaro is extremely funny, and I love her charisma. She's very charismatic. Her charisma is anti-charisma. She has -2. She has a -2 on every DC 20 check, right? She has crafted an image where that is completely risless, right? And yet she dominates, right? She is able to control a crowd and able to make people laugh. And she doesn't jump through any hoops, right? There's no red nose, right? There's no big shoes. There's no floppy sleeves. There's no spots on her clothes, right? She's not a clown, right? She can make people laugh with extremely dry, extremely high-end intellectual fare. She's brilliant, right? And I really dig her stuff. And I love when she transitioned from being a comedian to an actual star. So my favorite film with her in it is We Have a Ghost. If you haven't seen that movie, it's absolutely fantastic. It has David Harbour in it. It has the gentleman who plays the gentleman who's the new Captain America, not Chris Evans, right? It's really good. I really like Tig Notaro in that movie. She's also been in some Zack Snyder movies. She's brilliant. She's brilliant in everything she's in, right? But she's also an LGBTQ candidate, a champion, right? So what really fascinated me is she rolls up on Neil Brennan's channel, and Neil's like, "Hey, you almost died of cancer," which is correct, right? She got cancer, came extremely close to dying, and she right now is in remission. She got a ticking time bomb in her body, right? Like, she has cancer and she is alive. How's she alive? At God's mercy. At God's mercy. My God's mercy, right? Right? And why is that? Because she prayed to God. And I think a bunch of people like me prayed to God for her. I was astounded. She said so Tig Notaro, LGBTQ champion, right? Now, why, you're like, Scott, LGBT people go to church. They do, but it's kind of rare. Increasingly, LGBTQ are aligned with the left. The left are fleeing churches left and right, right? So it's not that the LGBTQ are fleeing churches. It's that there are very few, correct my numbers, right? I think 3% of our population is LGBTQ, right? Of that, I think 98% are left. I've never met an LGBTQ conservative person in my entire life, right? Have you? Maybe you have. I don't know. I guess they're out there. There used to be one, but I think they canceled them. Like, I don't know. All right. So it's extra. So, and the issue is, it's not that LGBTQ leave the church. The left leave the church, and the left are gone. And they don't just leave the church; they shut churches down. Right? There's a church in California. Like 2-3 years ago, they literally shut it down. They sealed the door. And it's like, you cannot worship. It's against the law. Right? It happened in California because there's a bunch of left people there. Right? So Tig Notaro was the LGBTQ champion. But the moment she was almost dead, she prayed to God. That is astounding. It shocked me when I heard it. I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like, whoa. We evangelical Christians, man, we got it right. We're like, yeah, you can roll hard against God until you get cancer, then you come in. Like you sit, I got a seat in the pew right here, Tig. Like, step right up. Happy to see you here. Right? And I'm super glad. That cancer brought Tig Notaro to God, right? Now, I don't think she sealed her deal with Jesus Christ, but she started that conversation, right? And so at this point, I'm actively praying that Tig Notaro will become an evangelical Christian, and I can give her a hug when we're in heaven together, right? Great, that'd be awesome, right? Here's the kicker, right? Every non-player character, your player character rolls into. If you're a rogue, they're like, whoa, you gonna pick my pockets, man? You're a fighter, like, yeah, let's throw down. Let's go outside. I got my sword. You got your sword. Let's do it. One of us walks away dead, right? The wizard, whoa, you breaking the laws of physics in some weird way today, wizard. I don't like your robes, man. And eat a sandwich, right? But a cleric, get this, right? Oh, yeah, thanks for coming around, cleric. You with your God that I don't worship, right? Yeah, like anybody cares about your faith or anything. Oh my gosh, my child's blind. Where's that cleric? Oh no, my child just got cancer. Where's that cleric? Oh my gosh, I just had my hand chopped off. Where's that cleric? Right? You see what I'm saying? And get this, the cleric can heal. The cleric can heal the body, but they can also heal the spirit. Right? And they can slay the dragon without drawing a sword. The fighter's going to draw their sword, like, do the best they can. They're going to do Red Box Warrior as a woman and try to slay it themselves, right? The wizard's going to throw a ice bolt, right? Or a lightning bolt. The rogue's going to, get in a few extra D6s of damage. But the cleric can say, God, we cannot... deity, we cannot slay this dragon. Put him down for me. Done. It can happen, right? There is no balance in Dungeons and Dragons. The cleric is 1,000 times more powerful than the wizard, the fighter, and the rogue combined. They can do things that nobody else in Dungeons and Dragons can do. And this is my point. We spent 50 years sucking at portraying on the Dungeon Master side and on the Dragon Master side. On the Dragon Master side, we used them as skill bots. On the Dungeon Master side, the cleric rolled into town like everybody else. That is wrong. That is wrong. Cleric rolls into a village. People need physical, mental, and spiritual healing, all of which the cleric can provide. And yes, a few people might ignore him, until they hit the Tig Notaro, I got cancer, now I'm praying to God part. Right? Tig Notaro got turned, man. She's praying to God. I was astounded. To hear Tig Notaro said, I started praying to God. Right? That is incredible, right? And that means that every non-player character, I call them entities, every entity in your Dungeons & Dragons game can turn full 100% to the submission of the cleric, unlike any other class in Dungeons & Dragons. It is not even close. It's powerful. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion, nothing more, not a thing less. What's important is when I hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.